folks, hope everybody's well. Welcome back to the channel. First need to start off with an apology for yesterday's video. In the final stage of processing, it was late last night and I realised that the sound wasn't up to the right quality. The audio that I'd recorded as a single take didn't actually come out at the right level because I hadn't set the separate channel for the audio. So I couldn't increase the volume of the audio on its own. So I've done it differently tonight. I apologise for yesterday's video. I know some people have made some comments and I take it all on board. I knew this morning when I'd approved the post that it was an issue, but I did make a comment about it, but it isn't really acceptable. But I didn't want to lose that really good race. So with the way things are, I've made those changes today and you should see them in the recording. But here we go as we move on. This is version update 1.25. We're in the Human Comedy again and we're going to Autopolis today. We're going to rerun this race in the Cappuccino 91. I've managed to get a tune for 112 brake horsepower. Now, in comparison to the previous update, and this is what these races are all about, rerunning them, is the significant change in the setups. Now, for the Cappuccino, my original setup started at 410. When it transmitted across to the version updated, I was 10 pp over. So I've had to do a few things. So let's just run through the major changes and major setup. You have to run comfort softs in this. I've had to reduce the suspension, and I was on the sports suspension, and I've had to, well, I even bought the street, and I've had to go back to the normal. Differential, I'm not running anything special. ECU fully customizable. Rear downforce and front downforce, I am running in the auto shop the modified front valance and the modified sides and the modified rear, and I've put the high wing on. Now you can, because our PP is 39906, you can take a bit of the downforce off, or you can add a little bit, and it makes no real difference. All you're going to change is your top speed on the straights. I could reduce it a little bit for a little extra top speed, but I just want that cornering power. So I've not done anything with it. I've not added any ballast. I've not taken any power restriction off. I'm running the fully customizable transmission, but it's still at its default setting. I haven't changed it. Turbocharger, low RPM, anti-lag is on. I've set that to strong, and the intercooler is racing. If you don't have the racing intercooler, you're not getting the airflow through the engine, and you're getting a much lower BHP. Air cooler, silencer and manifold, all at racing. And I'm just running racing brake pads. If I'm to add the racing or the street setup, it's the sport setup on the pads. You can see it goes to 406. It's just not going to cut it. Brake control, I've got the brake balance controller on. We'll look at that as we're running. Weight reductions 1, 2 and 3 applied. That gives you a weight of 673. And I also found the ability to whack in the stroke up. So it gives you that extra 3 bhp, because it comes out 109 bhp without that, and it's not a massive pp increase. Clutch and flywheel I've bought up to semi-racing, but again with that drop in pp I've had to take that off, and I don't have a carbon prop shaft for this car. So they're the changes. I've actually given the opportunity so you can freeze the screen there and go with it. In terms of the race, we'll get there in a second. I'll just let the game tick over as we load it up. And here we are at the race. So looking at the rankings board, comparing against my pals, I'm actually top of the tree on this one with 25 laps. Just two of us were 25. And this is the bit I'm interested in, is somebody's done 27 laps, but in the Beat 91, and somebody's done 26 in both the Coppen, well, in all three of those cars, the Beat 91, the Coppen and the Cappuccino. So we're on 25, so it'd be nice if we can do 26. Interesting thing with that is this car will do roughly 10 laps on its first fuel load, and it's looking like if we're at 26s, if we're running 8 laps, that'll be 24, so we're going to run maybe 8 laps and the last stint for 10. That would have to run a last set of tyres really low, but somebody's done 27, so that's 3.9, so it'd be 9.99. So I think we've got to aim for 9, 9 and 9. That'd be how we do it. Well, it wouldn't. It'd be 9, 9 and 8 and just roll it through that last. So if I do 9, 9 and then fuel for one more, fuel it short, let's see how we go. So that's going to be the, I don't know how we're going to do that because I haven't got 26 yet. So I think it's got to be 9, 9 and then 8, and we'll try and get 26 in. Oh, that'll be a challenge. Settings for the actual assists. You know my settings, folks, if you race with me a lot. Traction control 1, ABS default, everything else off. Minimal assists. Are you ready then? Just one last look down my friends list. Everybody's on 24 really. Just Alex on 25. So let's see where we go, folks. Let's give it a go. On our way. So I have done a few laps just testing and making sure in this this setup is workable. And with that being the case, I've probably done 10 or so miles already. I've done probably 3.5 one-lap stints. It's a bigger change than I expected on the PP. The car actually is not as quick as it used to be on my last setup. And just to give you a hint about what goes on with the workshop stuff, front, rear and side splitters, the side balance is on, but I've also gone for the wide fitment, wide offset, not the wide wheels. I've just increased the width of the car. It seems to give it a teeny bit more stability into the corners. This one's rear wheel drive, so, and you can tell that because the back end gets a bit happy chappy. I run a very different line to the AI there. Just lifting the throttle occasionally around the outside of that young man. And we are running the high wing, braking halfway between those two last indicators for that corner, not being very friendly to that AI. Now what do you think, folks? Do you think I should run this with another car, the Coppin maybe? Just to give you guys who have the Coppin the opportunity. I know the Cappuccino is it's a car that comes up very rarely in the used car section. If you don't have it, it is quite hard to come by. I was fortunate because I bought the game in the first week, and it was one of the first cars that was new. And oh, he's giving me some barge. It was one of the first cars marked as hot in the actual used car. So I'm going to try this corner in 4th gear. I'm going to run it low. I just want the acceleration out the corner in 4th. Yeah, that's much better in 4th gear. You get much better speed out the corner. You'll get to 5th a lot earlier, so being able to maximise the speed. I want this fella to go deep down my inside on the right hand side because I think I'm going to try and undercut him. Back on the gas to tighten the rear up. Come past him nicely, that's it, a nice tight first corner. So that's a 240 that lap. I don't think that's going to be quick enough to get us anywhere near that 26 laps we're trying to target. To run 30 laps you've got to run 2 minutes. I'm running almost 3-minute laps. We won't be able to work it out on that, will we? We'll only know from the time on this lap, I think. I've got to change up a bit earlier on the exit of that chicane. Hairpin, sorry, not chicane. I get a strange phone ringing sound from the gearbox of this car as you're driving up these corners. So we're up to 10th place, we're 9 seconds off the lead on lap 2. I want to take this corner a bit more aggressively. We haven't got the ideal brake kit on for this. I've had to drop the brake kit because of the PP change. The car, and I've had to change the suspension as well, which is a bit grim. The street suspension, the stock suspension really isn't the best for this car, but hey ho. We're making progress, just coming into 7th place, keep it in 4th, try not to lose the car. I'm running 15-inch wheels. Oh, he's giving me a wee nudge. Doesn't seem to like to rev high, so 223. That doesn't make for easy maths, does it? Oh, my Jesus. Seven seconds off the lead, so we seem to have the pace in the car to catch the boys up in front. Use all the curbs where you can, folks. Maximise that opportunity. We'll have a look at the tyre status in a minute. Yeah, better run out of that corner by opening the steering wheel up. So how's the fronts? The fronts are wearing a bit more than the rears, and with this being a rear wheel drive car, it's not going to spin a lot though, is it, with TC on one? And it's really quite lightweight, but we could move the brake balance back to the rear if we wanted to. Be keen to know what the tyre wear is going to look like as we approach lap 8 and 9. If the tyre wear is good, not forgetting these are comfort softs, we might run a wide line there. Let's see if we can capitalise a bit more straight line speed. No, we messed that up through there, too much steering. So we just made the one overtake this lap. See if we can get a bit of a draft off these guys. Nope, we're not going to run that quite nicely. Try and run it straighter, straight line that corner. We've got anti-lag set on just for that extra PP, but gives us a tiny fraction more range. And look at that dirty swine cutting in. I suppose it was legit. Don't like that though. I haven't been able to do the maths yet on how many laps we're capable of. Too busy thinking about making progress, but we're up to 4th. It looks like we'll be able to take 3rd fairly easy up to this corner. Got him on the outside. Got a better run round that corner. What we don't know at this time though is what their actual strategy is, whether they're fueled long or if they've got to use the same tyres as us though. I would suggest they're on comfort softs all round. That's us into 3rd with just 4 seconds, 3.4 seconds off the lead. That was a good angle into there. Let's see if we can just hug that corner. So just to give you folks a bit of an update, if you normally people are watching my videos quite concertedly up to 7-8 minutes, so I've probably done that now. But what I would like to do is just drop a little bit of a hint to those folks that have stuck it out this far. I'd like to give you a bit of a hint as to what's coming up as we do some just running down these lap times. So I've gone and booked myself a holiday. I'm going to take the wife away, and we're going to take a trip over to the United States. I know people will say, oh man, it's a horrible time of year to go. November, the money's on the downturn, you're not going to get pound for your buck. Well, obviously folks, I don't actually give a monkeys about all that. I have not been very well. I've lost the last 3 months of my life really to this illness, and I'm going to go and enjoy myself. So whilst I know that I'm getting well again and I've got no terminal illness, not like some unfortunate souls out there that have a much harder life than me, I need a break. We haven't had a holiday as a couple, me and the wife and I, since before the era of lockdowns. We went on an absolutely stunning cruise back in 2019, and we haven't been since. So 3 years since we've been. 2 weeks on Friday we're going to fly over to the States and take in a bit of a holiday. And with that being the case folks, just talking about me, which I don't do a lot, I've hired a nice hire car. We'll see what we get, because you don't always get what you want, do you? But we're going over to Orlando in Florida. We're going to go, I've got a 2-week park ticket for Universal. We're also going to go out driving, and we're going to see parts of the US that we've never really seen before. I'm fortunate enough, this will be my 12th visit to Florida over the years. I've enjoyed being I worked for an airline for some time and got some benefits whilst being with them. Occasional upgrade on flights, etc. Don't work for airlines anymore, but I've enjoyed the benefits of my wife being a car hire manager. So we do know how to play the game and get a little bit out of the system. But with that, we're also going to take a trip across to Tampa, a little place called Bradenton. And for those of you that know, I don't really have to tell you what's in Bradenton, do I? So we're going to enjoy some drag racing and some oval racing. It's a version of Le Mans, but with an American southern sort of Florida man type twist. And I'm really looking forward to it. A couple of weeks over there and we'll get back for the start of December, and the content will resume again back up to Christmas for you. So I appreciate I've not been around much in September and October, but we will start to try and entertain you again a bit and try and help you with this game. And I know many people aren't watching my other content, so I'll try and keep my gaming content that you guys don't watch to myself for now. But if you want me to, let me know. That's what the comments section is for, and I know you do. There's definitely people out there that do like to convey their feelings and their understanding, their impressions, their thanks, their wants, their likes, and it's all taken as it's meant, folks. If you don't like it, let me know and I'll do something about it. But there we are, we're into pole. Almost 15 minutes of this gone. We're on lap 6. We're running 2:21s. We've got the time down and that's because the fuel is coming off. Front tyres are actually looking a bit sick. So took me a whole lap to tell you about my holiday, but there we go. Maybe it took 2, I don't know. But I'll run this same setup on this car as I would for the Kei Cup, the Kei Cup, whichever one you want to call it, the Kei Cup races. I know people do ask questions about them because they find them a challenge. There we go, back in the 221s, my fastest 221, and that's the fastest lap of the race. We're 5 seconds clear of the cars behind. We've got 4 laps of fuel left. Third gear for this corner. Get 2 wheels on the curb, 2 wheels on the grass, you're alright. So it looks like we're going to get 10 laps in. Now I wonder, and here's my thoughts, whether a set of tyres will last 2 stints so we can save the time on tyre changes. But I don't think that's going to be the difference between 25 and 26 laps, is it? 1 tyre change. I think as the tyres get really burnt out, I'll lose so much more time than that, will I? Can I do, I don't know, can I do that amount of laps on 1 set of tyres? Back on, but it'll get a back end got a bit slidey-widey there. Don't know, let's have a check. I'm gonna push the tyres to the rear. See what kind of difference the brake balance makes. So the other thing I'd have liked to have done for the holiday is flying to somewhere like San Francisco or LA and drive back over to Florida, but with what we want to do, we haven't really got the time to do that, because there's another place I'd like to go, and that's a place called Cerro Gordo. And for those of you in the know what that is, that's a silver mine just outside Death Valley on the way to Las Vegas. And if I could, I'd go, but as it stands, I don't think that's going to be an opportunity for this year. Maybe that's next year's holiday. But concentrating on the race now. Missed that apex just a wee bit, but we're in the 221s. Fuel weight's coming down. Just want those front tyres just to ease off a wee bit. We don't want to burn them away. 4th gear around there. It's normally 3rd gear for me, but we'll now, I'm not a vlogger, and that's the other thing. Let me know if you want to see some content of those trip down to Bradenton. We plan to take in a test and tune night at Bradenton. Ultimate Streetcar, I think, or Streetcar is there on Friday night of the weekend we're going down to Bradenton. Saturday is the Burnout at the Freedom Factory, we're not going to see. Purely because I don't dig the Burnout thing. It's like drifting in this game, it's not my bag. Oh, I might get a penalty there. I think I might have cut that, yeah, and that's a sharp penalty, folks. That's poor on my part. I wasn't concentrating, I was talking. Yeah, we'll have to take that on the chin. That's going to be more than 2 seconds of a penalty, that. And we know they're the penalty boxes, don't we? That's right round the back of the track. There isn't one on the start straight. But we're 10 seconds ahead of the cars behind us, so with that we know we've got this race kind of sealed up, we know that. That's 8 laps, so this is going to be the last lap anyway. We're going to go and we're going to pit for the 9th lap. That's a 2:20 as well, look at that. Oh dearie, that was a good lap. I actually don't think we need to change tyres, I'm not going to. So the cars behind have pitted, they're going for 24 laps, but they're down at 7% fuel. So they were going proper aggressive. Yeah, so as I'm not a vlogger, if you want to see content of where we're going and what we're going to go and see, you know everybody's going to be there for that Sunday event. You know they are. So the question is, loads of people are going to be posting it. But I guess it'd be good for the channel. It'd be good for me to get those names on my channel. It's costing me an absolute fortune, and I'm not going to. I'm doing it for a holiday. I'm not doing it to promote the channel. So I bought the gear. I bought myself a gimbal. I'm just going to use my phone, but it's an iPhone, so it should be fairly good quality. The sound is always an issue to me. I had problems with the sound last night, but that was the 2-second penalty. So I know you can see all the content from the guys that are going to be there on their own channels, but I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see it from a spectator's point of view. I'm not going to get a VIP pack. I'm going to go into the main stands and sit with the folks. I'm going to go and put money into their channels, buying their t-shirts, etc., and stickers, and you know, just spread the wealth a bit. That's what my plan is. But with that being the case, here we go. We've got to think about the pit stops now, folks. Going into the pits, we're going to keep these tyres. We're going to use these, not changing them. So we're not changing. I think that'll be fine. We're going to fuel for 9 laps. And I didn't look up and see just what the time was, because that should be 20 minutes. Let's have a look at the time as we come out. It should be about 21 minutes. Disappointed, guys, taking the tyres back in. Here we go, 7, 8, 9, and we're out. 9.1 that was. Looks like the rear tyre was punctured there. So that's 23 minutes done. And we've just lost first place to Mr. Wilk. We'll get a new set of tyres next time. So now we've talked about my holiday and where I'm going in 3 weeks' time, 2 weeks on Friday. I'm going to just focus on the race now a little bit. And try and set some blistering lap times. He's coming up the inside, but not going to let him knock me off. Just gave him a bit of extra room there. Well, that's the other thing about this channel. It's got nothing to do with the real life. It seems to be all about GT Sport, GT7, GT Sport, whatever form of the Gran Turismo world that it's in. So I haven't done any of that stuff about me in the past, so this will be the first part of it. I'm not going to walk you through my whole holiday, but at the end of the day I'm going to show you those kind of things, because it will help the channel. And if I know a lot of people, well, those guys have subscribers in the millions. I'm nowhere near, but I don't even do the car stuff that they do. Well, not that you know of. I do have a show car downstairs, a car that goes to shows, but it's completely different kind of car to what they do. And I've just sold my daily driver, but there's a new one coming, and I'll share that with you at the time, I guess, if you want to see it. Anyway, eyes down, full house, 35 minutes. We need to get these 9 laps done. Back onto the hot laps now. Need no more penalties either. Disappointed at myself for getting that penalty. Just ran off the curb a wee bit then. Mr. Wilk just stopped for fuel, so he was running long. So we're 30 seconds ahead of the pack. Based on what they're doing, we need to be well ahead. I wonder if that's a third gear chicane now. That front left is looking to be hotting up a wee bit, but let's keep the power down, let's keep it going. We're not worrying about tyres really. I know we've got loads of wear in them. We just need to get these lap times down. We have got a 20, so right, I was concentrating then, folks, trying to make sure we got these laps done. There's a 21 again, but it's slow, but we've got a full load of fuel and half worn tyres, so we're pitting at the end of lap 18, so 6 to go. I actually think the tyres will be alright. We might put a bit of stress on the left rear. I can see that right rear is not threatened at all. It's the one with the least amount of wear. But we are going to put pressure on them. We are going to stress them a wee bit. I'm going to try and come out of this chicane. I'm going to try and give it a nice wide entry. Don't know much different. Oh, trying to crank that back tyre up. That left tyre sort of started to spin up then, didn't it? We're not running a diff, so this has just got a stock rear axle in. Felt fairly swift. I've had to lift through there though, and I always lift into this corner, not braking. This Autopolis circuit is a real circuit in Tokyo, in Japan, but it's one of those circuits just like Magyar. Oh, we got a lapper. He's taking the blues. like Maggiore, Lego Maggiore, however you want to say it, that it took a long time for me to get some level of appreciation for. The circuit experience on this one, there's a 2:21.03, that's the fastest lap of the race. The circuit experience at this one is done in a very, very high powered GTR, and I found it a challenge. It was one of the first circuits I tried. Oh, is there a penalty? Let's say no at this time. I think I might have rescued that. So coming up to halfway point in the race. Halfway point, that puts me on 26 laps if I can do it. If I'm 13 laps in, I might get 25, which is what we've already got, isn't it? We really need to get more pace out of this car. Need to get down to the 2:18 lap time, I think. We're going to stop for tyres and fuel next pit stop. I was saying about the circuit experience, wasn't I? The circuit experience was extremely difficult, and it took me... I went away and did other circuit experiences before coming back and doing it. And it probably took me 2 months between all the videos I was doing and coming back to try it, and it was only with understanding how this circuit's built up and how you link the corners together for best speed that I was then able to win that circuit experience gold. I know some of you don't believe that the circuit experience of golds are worth it, but hey, there's loads more credits you can get, you know, which helps you with the main game, and it really does teach you to get faster around the circuits. And if you want to get faster, that's the place to do it. Those circuit experiences are really good for learning circuits and doing what you need to do. There we go, another fastest lap, so we're knocking them off. And we're just about to lap another one. I came in on that apex way too early. Just the 5 laps to pit stop. Been taking that bend in 4th recently, but with the fuel weight going off, 3rd gear was the right gear to accelerate out the corner. There's another question. Are you guys alright with seeing my image, my picture of myself, the camera in the bottom right hand corner? Do you want to, do you need that there to be able to see what I'm actually doing and what I'm actually experiencing? You'll see my facial expressions, etc. when I'm actually making cock-ups. That was better around there. I haven't really been taking note of the timing splits, but I have been taking notes of where I've lost that apex there. Car's getting much quicker with a fuel weight gone. The tyres are just starting to give up a bit. There's another lapper. There you go, that's how much you lose. 1.5 seconds through that corner there. And I've got to keep going in fourth round that other corner. I lost time round there. A later turning onto this corner as possible allows you to get that hammer down and get out that corner much quicker. So the full usage gauge isn't really that accurate, is it? There's the beat 91 with that. Is that a beat 91? That exhaust looks absolutely atrocious. So I was quiet because I was concentrating. I apologise. That left front was starting to lose grip there. I went into there probably a bit quicker than I should have. And we made time back up for that appallingly slow lap last time. It's a 21 again. Need to pull my finger out. Fuel, we've got 3.6 laps of fuel left, but that's going to be well enough. Alright, 23 laps left, 23 minutes left. It looks like a 25 lapper again. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to challenge the 26. Even being stationary for less in the pit lane isn't going to help. It's too much time to take on. There's got to be more time you can take. You've got to be fast around this circuit. And I really haven't found where you've got to be quick to set those laps. Got a little nudge off that competitor there. We're almost a minute up on the lead car of the AI. I just heard the turbo blow off valve, dump valve, whatever you want to call it, go for it then as we entered that corner as I lifted off the brakes. So we're lapping 16th place now. Now I'm going to go around the outside. I think that front left has seen its best. Just need to be a bit cautious coming into this corner here. We're going to try and run it in as wide as we can and not allow it to slide and cook a lot of heat. There we go. Just now get it down and through fourth gear, get out the corner, run it across the grass, cool it down. If that happens in this game like it does in iRacing. Lap 17, 2 to go. Looking at just how much fuel's there, 0.7 of a lap. I'm going to fill up to 8.3 if that's the case. in the pit stop, because I don't think we're going to manage the full 9, and it'll just save me 3 or 4 seconds. I'm about a lap down on being able to make 27 laps. And those boys are all pitting again for the second time. And I've missed the apex there, that's a shocker. Don't know if I quite finished what I was saying earlier about the Cappuccino being rarely available from the used car garage. With that being the case, I will try and run this race again with the Coppen, another car that I've got, and try to do all the races twice with it, so you can, if you've got the Coppen, which I think might be the second best, but according to this, the Beat 91 seems to be. The S660 I think is a dog. That was a slow lap. So we're on to the last lap before pitting. We're going to take tyres and fuel. As a betting man, I don't think I can do it without changing tyres. As a non-betting man, should I say, I don't do betting very much. One minute 43 we're up then, so we're pretty much gonna, I don't know whether we're gonna lap sort of everybody kind of thing. We're gonna be close to it, but we've just got to get this to go in, and we've got to lap these last 8 laps as quick as we can. That'll take us to 18, it'll take us to 26 laps if we do 8 laps. I generally don't think we'll get 18. I don't think we'll do 26. I don't think that penalty stopped us doing it. I just don't think we're fast enough. Here I am doubting myself already. Oh, that's a clear apex miss. Get the car up on that curb, that's the way. Right, here we go, into the pit lane. Oh, I hope I don't get a penalty for that. I crossed the line, didn't I? I'm going to change tyres and we're going to fill up to 8.3. There's only 16 minutes left. I can't do 8 laps. I'm going to fill up to 8. I even think that'll be too much fuel. So Some people are lapping themselves as we talk about it. 7, 8, there we go. 15 minutes remaining. We'll struggle to do 7. So that'll be 7 laps will be 26. Have I miscalculated again? Seven will be 25. But with new tyres and the least amount of fuel we've been running, we should get some real good lap times in. We've still got the fastest lap of the race, so let's see if we can do that. And we are running TC1, so we're not getting the full benefit of early acceleration out of corners, because the car will, the way the game works, with any amount of steering input at 3 degrees, you will lose acceleration. There's a whole gaggle of them in front of us. Not entirely sure what position we're at, but we'll find that out as we approach them. That last corner is actually for me the hardest corner on this circuit. We'll talk about that as we come round next time. I don't know who Mr. Pinnell is. I've never seen Mr. Pinnell before. I think we started in 5th place, so we'll have just, sorry, 15th place, so we're just getting back to where we began in terms of lappaging. So here we go, first time lap out of the pits. It was a longer pit stop because of changing tyres, but we took a wee bit less fuel, so that was good through there. Don't close my route off, young man. These boys are dancing between them. We're on that inside line. Oh, the back end just decided to go. Overcorrected. And that was all me. I think we minimised the damage a bit there, but I think the damage is already done in terms of lap time at lapping. The point of the video, the point of this YouTube, is to be able to prove that we have a setup that can beat and get gold, is the primary goal at least. The secondary goal is to beat all our friends, and it's also for that personal gain thing of setting an extra lap and a new record. But as it stands, we're not quite there. Needs to do a bit more work. Oh, that's just overslid a bit. Well, yeah, we caught it. I was going to talk about that corner when we came round last time, but hey ho. See if we can get first into this corner. There we go. Use a bit of the old curb. There's a coppin in front of us. Stop the back end drifting about up the inside. There we go. Not going to bump and grind these guys aggressively too much. If I need to, I will, but I'm not forced to at this moment. See if I can run the front tyre around that curve. I've blown it a bit, but there we go. Get it across the dirt. So according to this, 6 laps to go of fuel. Time left 11 minutes 10. It's 5 laps, I'm afraid. I don't think we'll get the 5th. And that was a 2:23.5 with that off. I did have that off, didn't I? Which is shocking. But hey ho, that's where we are. Let's get the car moving through these corners a bit. Mr. Hizal in 10th place. And another Coppen. No rear wing. It's a Daihatsu, isn't it, the Coppen? Yeah. No, my friend, you're not going to get that back. So 1 minute 14 ahead of the bunch. Going to change up early, try and get that 5th gear rolling. Right, so this is the corner that I feel that is the most challenging in the game. There's no real good brake indicator. This sunshine and shadow is a pain in the butt, but it's 4th gear entry for me. Get 2 of the left tyres onto that red and white curb and then accelerate out of it, and you just need to lift going into that corner. This one's a tab of the brakes and throttle again, get 2 wheels up on the curb, change down to 3rd for this corner, balance the throttle and brake a wee bit to get the front end coming round, run over the curbs, shortcut them as much as you can. So it looks like 8th and 7th are pitting. Let's try and get this tyres round the front. Let's get it to run round this corner, not too wide, get over that curb, and there they go coming out of the pit lane. You can see them ahead. They've splashed and dashed for where we are, a 2:20.065, which was almost the lap record, the fastest lap. Back end decided to drift. Here's 9th place, 8 minutes left. Just got out of the way just appropriately in time, didn't he? Nice to pop in a fastest lap of the race at this point. Mr. Wilkes just pitted from 3rd place. We're only 1:19 ahead of the pack. But there must be a big gap between 1st and 2nd already, because I'm almost round to lap Mr. Wilk, but he isn't going to take more than 40% fuel, is he? He only took 36 by the look of it, and he's on his way again. Like I say, he's got 3 laps to do. We've got 6:51, so there's a chance of doing maybe 3 laps. Some overtaking to do now, come on. So 3 laps for me would be 6 minutes. It'd be 7 minutes. I'm not going to get it done. It's 2:20 plus 2:20 is 4:40. You had 2 minutes 6:40. 20 seconds is... It's just not enough time to do it. So it's going to be 25 laps, boys and girls. Even if we'd short fueled that That one lap, it's not going to happen. Disappointed a little bit. Need to get the car faster. We spent a lot of PP on making the car lighter. I wonder if I should get a new body, not put the PP on the Lightning and put the mid-turbo on it. I wonder if that's the answer. It's only 20 grand or so to redo the body. If it's 200k, it doesn't matter. Still not a lot of cash in terms of game credits, is it? I didn't clock what position that car was we came past. I'm guessing that was 8th. Getting a bit raggedy trying to put the laps in now. Taking the long run through there. That needed to be 440, which just isn't going to happen, is it? That was a 2:19.608, so that was quicker. But we need to be doing 2:18s from the start. Because 2:18s, that's 2 seconds a lap. That's a good 50-second saving across the 25 laps. That would get us that extra lap. But to get down to 2:18s, that needs a hefty uplift of speed. I wouldn't say the car's uncontrollable. I could probably lose some downforce on the front and rear wings, probably. I don't know if anybody could see that I'm particularly losing time in any sort of corner. I'd like you to shout up, because as it is, when I'm not making mistakes, of course, which is the other part of the game. If you run consistent laps, which I was doing for 2/3 of the race, I'd say, the idea would be that there's only certain parts of the track where I'm not gaining a benefit and I'm losing time consistently. I might be messing around with the gears too much going into corners, and I should actually be trusting the higher gear to allow higher speed through a corner. 4 through there is absolutely sublime. It doesn't like being punched down a gear. Here we go then, 2:15, so 2:24. We'll be on to lap 25 and it'll be 25 laps. No increase, no progress made there, but we will only be maybe 20 seconds short, which means we just have to get that little bit quicker. Quite how? That isn't a set of tyres, is it? We haven't got to do this race on one set of tyres. Is that what we've got to do? No, because guys have done 27 laps. There's no way that's... Well, I suppose it is. But... Holy Chipotle. That was another 19 lap as well there. And I lost loads of time through this. See if we can do fastest lap this time, eh? That penalty of 2 seconds didn't penalise us enough to lose that 26th lap. Maybe I've got to... Maybe it's got to be that mid-level turbo, but I think that's an extra 40 pp. I don't know where I'll be able to save that. Unless it's sacrificing things like the top level air filter and the racing downpipe. I need to get this to like 120, 124 brake horsepower. Here we go then, the clock's ticked down to 0. This is the last lap, and just a big shout out for you those who've got this far watching it. Thank you very much. It's always appreciated when you do. I hope you can benefit from it in the game. Wasn't the fastest of laps, but there it is, 25 laps. We've done it. We've proved that we can still win this in 1.25. And there we were. We lapped everybody up to third place. We didn't lap second. He was 1 minute 41 behind us. And we had a fastest lap of 2:19.608. And we were just 27 seconds over the 1 minute. So we needed to make up 27 seconds. We did 25 laps, so we got to do each lap a second quicker. But the question's there: is it all about using the same set of tyres all the way through? You know, I'm still top of my friends list, but hopefully watching my video a few of my mates will be able to pick up the list and get higher. But there we have it, folks. Thank you very much. It's all appreciated, all of you, likes, comments, etc. And we'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much. Take care, folks. All the best.